Hi, gorgeous souls. I was making a video a second ago. I was trying to do a live video, and something came in and stopped it. This energy is completely all about, it's important because it's 4 powerful days. 4 powerful days, and those of you who followed me knows that Spirit tends to get a hold of me and hone in on whatever it's trying to get through to my thick head when I'm driving. And maybe it's because I'm alone, maybe I'm listening to the music, I don't know, but that's just the way it works. So I was making the video and something came through and brought it to a stop. So I'm making a second video. So if you caught part of the first one, just wait until I catch up to where I was at. I'm not waiting for anybody to come in. I'm just going to throw this out there and then get back on with my life. But we are definitely coming into a major time of ego versus soul, and I versus I, of both ego and soul seeing one another, which can become very confusing as to, are you listening to the right one within yourself? Well, the moon is crossing over Gemini over the next 2 days, and then it's going to be going into Cancer. Now, normally that wouldn't sound like it's a big deal, except for it has everything to do with, well, the way the planets are set up right now. The way the planets are set up is what makes this make a big deal. Not to mention the North Node, which is Rahu, is everything you need to learn in order to move forward. And it is now in Gemini, which means Sagittarius, until it moves out of Gemini, will have the South Node in, or K2, in its energy. And this is for all the way up for 2024. This energy is going to be there. This is all about us learning how to get really right with what's up close and personal, communicate with true, honest, loving ways with what's up close and personal, and then learn how to break our patterns that society is built upon us, that we don't even know that society is built upon us. And I like to use an example of this all the time because, you've heard people, raising children, and little girls, little boys, and I don't know how many times I've heard in my life, a parent saying to a little boy, you don't cry, little boys don't cry. That's fucking bullshit. Everybody cries, but that's one of these things that I'm saying. Patterns that society has taught us. If you're telling a little boy you can't cry, you're also making damn sure that he will not be connected with his inner communication, his inner truth, because of ego-based ideas. Because a man needs to not be able to cry. That's bullshit. This is part of what I'm talking about. We are having ego versus soul building this week. We have, as we come through the next 4 days, we have the moon is crossing over Gemini, crossing through Gemini, and over that North Node, which is in opposition of the South Node. Gemini is Jekyll and Hyde. You may be starting to feel with this energy frustrated, pent up, irritable, like just everything is, why is, like you're getting caught on things like your clothing and stuff. It's just things are telling you slow down. Because that irritability, that frustration is part of that ego and that soul eye-to-eye combat coming into play. The North Node tells you everything you need to learn in order to move forward. Well, in Gemini, it's about your communication with yourself and with how you communicate yourself to yourself as well as outwardly. But it's also very curious. Gemini and South Node are curious. Not South Node. Gemini and Sagittarius are curious energies. I like to call Sagittarius Tomb Raider versus Indiana Jones. They're adventurous. They're curious. They're on the go. And they want to know. And they're detached from everything. That's part of what allows that energy to be higher ranking. And that higher spirituality. But with the South Node here, it's saying all of these patterns, all of the society is planted upon us to think in our way of thinking that that's the only way of getting to your spiritual evolution, your spiritual truth, and religious beliefs and stuff. Is the only philosophy way of doing it. That's fucking wrong. And I've been saying, I can't say how many times I'm going to say between now and 2024 when this energy breaks. The light workers, this is especially important for you. This isn't about the people who haven't come into being awake or woke. Just because you're woke doesn't mean you have a bit of enlightenment. The South Node, especially for us in Sagittarius, for all of us who are light workers, is saying, okay, all of you who've become awoke, who've woken, who've come into understanding anything about spirituality, anything about the religious philosophy, and how we, resurrect our spirituality and our authenticity. I've been saying for years that we don't have a clue of what authenticity is. It's like the floor is falling out. People, your spiritual understanding, no matter how, and for you people who call yourself a master, that's right there showing how much of a master you're not. Because this is saying for the next 4 years, we're unraveling patterns that's made us think that the only way of getting to the right way of being can only be this way. Well, for you light workers, you've gotten into kindergarten and you've learned a little something about a little something, but that doesn't mean the floor hasn't fallen out and there's so much more to learn. That doesn't mean that what you think you are right now is all that you are. You are so much more than you will ever comprehend and completely understand of what you are. I was reading something the other night because I follow also Kali in Hindu, and the idea is the mother goddess, whether you want to see it however you want to see it, there's only so much that your little pea brain can comprehend, even on a spiritual level. Sometimes you have to have faith in that. Your pea brain ain't ready to comprehend everything that is of divine nature. So there's so much more to you than even you can comprehend that you have within you. We have this energy of this next 4 days is South Node and North Node, which are always in opposition, but the moon is coming into it. Gemini energy in the South Node. All of this is about your spirituality, all about your higher self, all that frustration, that irritability, that, feeling like you're trapped or getting caught on everything and just, everything's bugging you. It's going to grow, but it's growing because it's your higher self and your ego coming face to face because of the moon being in Gemini, and then it's going to be switching over and having a conversation with that Jupiter, that Pallas, that Pluto and Saturn energy, which is all in Capricorn, which is that brick wall that's finally starting to go pinballing in energy, going, okay, so now what am I going to do? How am I going to make these changes? We got to do these things. We got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it now. Is that energy coming up? But you also have the sun and the sun and Mars are in opposition of each other as we come through this energy. Not to mention, here's one of your key things. As that moon crosses over Jekyll and Hyde within yourself and trying to understand where are you listening to the ego, the higher ego, versus the true higher self and that divine energy. As it crosses over and comes out of Gemini, that moon's going to be going into Cancer. This is going to be making your sensitivities and your empath energy even more pinging. And the reason for that is the Sirius star is always at approximately 14 degrees of Gemini. And this is where we're also going to be seeing that T-square take place. I think it's on the 10th in the morning. And then as the day crosses, it'll be slowly coming out of it. But that is kind of like Thor's hammer. That's the hammer of divine energy going, let me hit you with everything now. Plus Cancer energy is the empath. It's the empath of empaths. It's also the chameleon. It's where you lose yourself in the chameleon energy of being caught up in everything else because you become the mirror. This is very much telling you, get yourself grounded and rise above the storm. The eagle is the only bird. I don't know if it's because it's the smartest of them. I don't know. But it's the only bird that you ever hear of that is smart enough to get out of the rain. Not by hiding from the rain, but for flying above the storm. This is telling you to truly get right with yourself. Truly get right with some of that inner mirroring, inner ego, talking to yourself, because you are that ego as well. This is about ego death, but at the same time, it's about honoring the truths of all of who and what you are by knowing where you get in your own way, not by pointing fingers outwardly. This is about breaking the patterns of ourselves that we're coming to learn are the patterns that were bestowed upon us. Like I said in the beginning of the video, people will tell children, little boys, men don't cry, so it's not okay for you to cry. Bull fucking shit. Everybody cries. And all you're doing is helping to create that they are not whole, that they are not able to communicate with their selves, because they put that idea of that lower idea of themselves as you know, lowering their self in a form of lowering their integrity, their self-worth, their self-value, their self-esteem, by saying, you know, I'm not able to do that. I'm a man. I must rise above that. We are looking at ideas of what we've created ourselves into, accidentally pulling ourselves away from our true authenticity, because we didn't even know that we were everything that we are. We are so attached and connected to godliness, and we don't even know that we are. Why do you think you love superheroes and supervillains? We have a natural addiction to them. That's because there is a godliness inside of us, but we don't comprehend what godliness is. We comprehend the addicted idea of the superhero and the supervillain. Who doesn't want to be able to go, man, I could catch lightning in a bottle. You know, I was so powerful I could flip the world upside down and make it rain upwards. You know, I was able to stop the hands of time and cup it in my hand. That's superhero bullshit. But see, that's the idea of, I like to put it in the idea of the old movie, The Craft. When you want to be magical, you want to be all-powerful, but you're not connecting with the true four. Your emotional, your mental, your spiritual, and your physical. Spirit was saying to me the other day, if you can't control your inner chaos, how will you ever unleash your true source energy? If you cannot control your inner chaos, how will you ever control your inner source energy, your true inner power of self? That is not about catching lightning in a bottle. That's so much more than that. That's bringing the Matrix to going, no, I'm going to drop that right there. You can't penetrate my energy. You got to stop looking for what sounds good and what sounds superhero, supervillain. Man, I want to have that power and everybody love me and look at me and, oh, you know, get all my people behind me, get behind me and be like, yeah, you know, no, it's not about that. This is about your true source energy and connecting with it by understanding where you are really bad at controlling your chaos. Because if you can't control your chaos, how will you ever come into your true power? Like the ego, like the eagle. You have major energies coming in and you're going to be shown it. The Sirius star is that Thor's hammer, is that divinity coming in and coming into empath sensitivity off the chain after it goes through this moon in Jekyll and Hyde. You got to be like the eagle right now. You got to fly above the storm, because you won't find shelter from the rain if you're below it. I love you guys, and then I'll be back for the weekly healing messages next week. Bye.